Jim, could you get that? You are considerably closer to the door. Jim? I'll get it then. Just when the corporal was about to reveal who committed the vile act. Hello.
Good day, I'm looking for the detective, Jim Steward.
You're at the right place.
Are you Jim Steward?
Oh no, I'm his assistant, Thomas Bunker, at your service.
Edgar Brentwood at yours. And where's the detective?
He's over there in the chair, reading the Daily Slander. Come on in, take a seat.
Mr. Steward, I'm in need of your assistance. Mr. Steward.
Jim, we have company.
Oh, dear heavens. When did you arrive?
Just now.
I'm terribly sorry. I was wrapped up in the slander. There's this... Good God! What is wrong with your left eye?
Jim, that's rude.
Oh, it's quite alright. It's a common reaction. I lost my left eye many years ago while travelling abroad. Now I wear a glass eye, which is completely hollow. I must fill it with ink, or else the sight would be a bit more unsettling. Besides, it makes for a splendid inkwell.
Right. And how can I help you today?
Actually, it's my boss, Mr. Baxter. He's the one who needs your help.
Hi, excuse me. Did you say Mr. Baxter? As in Maxwell Baxter of Baxter's books?
Yes, he sent me over saying only you and Mr. Steward could help. He mentioned something about you clearing his name in a murder case once?
Indeed we did. Someone had stolen his silver hammer and went on a killing spree. It was a ghastly ordeal, but we managed to prove his innocence in the matter. You say you work for him? I frequent his bookshop quite often, but I fear I don't recognize you.
That's 'cause I'm new. Anyways, Mr. Steward, Mr. Baxter desperately needs your help. I'm afraid he's lost his marbles.
That's a darn shame.
He's starting to go mad.
Yes, you've already said that.
He's on the verge of a complete insanity.
Okay, now you're just being redundant.
I don't think you're quite following what I'm saying. Mr. Baxter has literally lost his marbles. As in a small collection of glass orbs you knock about a circle using another glass orb.
Oh, I see. I thought you were using a euthanasia for losing one's mind.
A euthanasia?
I think you mean euphemism, Jim.
No, I think I mean euthanasia.
Anyways, do you think you could look into it? Mr. Baxter said they are a priceless collection, a gift from an old archaeologist friend of his.
Of course we'll help. The three of us have known each other for a long time. We'd be glad to help with any difficulty he's facing. But before you go, would you mind answering a few questions?
As long as it doesn't take too long, I have other urgent business to attend to before my lunch break's over.
Won't take long at all. Now, when did Max first discover his marbles were missing?
This morning when we came into work. He came tearing out of his office with a mighty wail and told me to come straight here during lunch.
Who all were in the shop before you left last night?
Let me see, myself, Mr. Baxter, and the other employee. I forgot his name.
Daniel?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Anyone else?
No, just a few customers.
Did any of them stick out as suspicious?
No. Well, there was this one bloke who struck me as odd. A man in a trench coat and a black hat. I noticed he'd been coming in quite a bit the last couple of days, but he never bought anything. Just browsed the books.
That's not too strange. Not everybody who goes into a bookshop will buy a book. Shameful, I know, but not criminal.
Yes, but he didn't seem too interested in the books. He'd stand in front of a shelf and his eyes would never stay focused on what was before him. Instead, they'd dart all over observing his surroundings.
Ah. Now that is noteworthy. I believe that's all for now, though. When you return to the shop, let Max know we'll be in shortly.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Why did I have to come?
Because you are the detective.
I would rather be back at the flat, counting my 99 pennies.
Jim, you count them every day.
Exactly. I counted them yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, but not yet today. It's almost 2 o'clock. Today is almost over.
We have more pressing matters at hand.
Fine. Although, I need to double my efforts and add 1 more penny to my collection. 99 is starting to become a stale number. Maybe when we're done with Max, I'll hit the streets and stock some Americans.
That would be ill-advised.
My 100th penny is out there, Tom. I can sense it.
It's ill-advised. Hello, Max.
Jim? Tom, is that you?
Oh, sure Mr. Brentwood wasn't using a euthanasia? Max looks quite insane to me. His hair's a mess, and his shirt is untucked, and... Oh, good grief, is that mustard on his... Ow!
Max! Good to see you. We hear you've lost your marbles.
Well, I haven't lost them yet, but in my current dilemma, if it isn't fixed soon, I no doubt will.
No, I meant the collection of glass orbs you knock out of a circle using another glass orb.
Oh, right. Yes.
Edgar told us you noticed your marbles were missing this morning, but when was the last time you saw them?
Well, that would be yesterday in my... God damn it! Careful, Edgar. Those are valuable volumes.
Sorry, Mr. Baxter, they just slipped out of my hands. I'll be more careful.
What's with the, pirate look?
I'm sorry.
You wearing an eye patch?
Oh, right. I lost my glass eye sometime during lunch.
Yet another mystery.
No, not really. I just misplaced it. It's probably on my writing desk next to the stationery. If you'll excuse me, I must finish restocking the shelves.
So, Max, when was the last time you saw your marbles?
Right, that would have been yesterday, in my desk, where I always keep them locked tight. I told Edgar and Daniel to lock up shop when I left for home.
Is Daniel here as well?
No, he called out sick this morning.
It was Daniel!
How do you know?
Isn't it obvious? He must have snuck into Max's office and absconded with the marbles, then called out sick to avoid being caught. Oh, it's brilliant.
Absconded? Jim, do you mean absconded?
Tom, stop being such an incessant know-it-all.
I'm not. I'm trying to help you with your vocabulary so people can understand you better. And we don't know if Daniel is the culprit. Someone could have broken in, somehow after Brentwood and Daniel left.
I suppose.
Were there any signs of a break-in?
None, not even my desk. Whoever took them is an expert lockpick.
Do you have security cameras?
No, I never bothered with them. Since so few people read these days, I always thought, who would want to steal books?
Too bad. Besides you, Daniel and Brentwood, were there any other people in the shop yesterday, or the days preceding it?
Other than customers? No, no one who struck me as a rare marble thief. My niece Emily stopped by, though.
Emily, the blonde girl who always wore the fancy jewellery.
That's the one. Although she's no longer a girl. She's all grown up and married, bless her. She said she was in town for a few days, staying at that rich new hotel they opened, the Grandiose.
Did she say why she was in town?
No, I asked, but she avoided the subject. Said it was a private matter and I didn't need to be bothered by it. Surely you don't think Emily could have stolen my marbles?
It is suspicious.
Preposterous! Emily would never do a thing like that.
I still think it was Daniel.
Well, question them both. Now, Emily's staying at the Grandiose. Where does Daniel live?
In the rundown block of flats over on Dilapidated Street.
How convenient. That's exactly where we live. So, Jim, let's head on over to the Grandiose Hotel to see Emily, then we can question Daniel on our way home.
I want to question Daniel first.
He's in the same area as we are. Maybe in the same building. The Grandiose is on the other side of town.
No, it was Daniel, I'm sure of it.
Okay, let's split up. I'll go speak with Emily and you can question Daniel.
Oh, sure. You get the innocent girl, while I get the murderous marble thief.
No one has been murdered.
Not yet. And I don't wish to be his first victim.
Fine. Fine. We'll question Daniel first. It's Daniel, I'm sure of it, he says. But where is he now? Stalking that Texan for a bloody penny, and here I am, alone, to question a man who is probably innocent. Good! Of course he would bump into us just as we mounted the steps. Damn all Americans and their copper coins! Okay, Tom, pull yourself together. That's it. You're at the door of an unlikely but possible suspect. Take a deep breath and...
Who are you and what the hell do you want?
Oh, joy. I'm Thomas Bunker, assistant to the detective Jim Steward. I'm always browsing the books at the shop where you work.
Right. And where's the young detective?
Out stalking an American in hopes he will drop a penny he can add to his collection. And speaking of collections, I would like to ask you about Maxwell Baxter's marbles.
What about them?
It seems as if someone made off with them. He says you and Brentwood were still in the shop when he left. Do you know anything about it?
No, I don't.
Did you notice anyone strange yesterday or the day before? Anyone who didn't look like they belonged in the shop?
Other than the usual crowd of customers, no. Although Emily Baxter's niece dropped by, but why she would visit, I don't know.
You don't like Emily?
No, she's a bit too highbrow for me, and more than a little prissy. She's always flaunting her jewellery and wealth. God only knows where she gets it. Most people assume her husband is rich, but I wonder. He's not what you would call fashionable. I would like to know where she gets all her money.
As would I. I just have one more question for you. In the days leading up to the theft, did you notice a man in a trench coat and black hat who would have browsed through the books without purchasing anything?
Well, that's not unheard of. Besides, lots of people wear hats, and our current weather has demanded we wear coats. Is there any other description of this man?
Unfortunately, no.
Then I don't think I can be of any more help. Besides, I spent most of the day in the back. Starting feeling funny, you know. I actually left before Edgar and I were supposed to lock up. Oh, no. You wouldn't have the tissue on you, by any chance?
Here, take my handkerchief. You can keep it. Thanks for answering my questions. What's wrong?
Oh, Tom, it's horrible. I followed that man everywhere, from the museum to the palace, even to the small sandwich shop where he grabbed a bite to eat. But no bloody luck. I'm this close to getting 100 pennies. This close!
I'm sorry. Now is not the time to mope around. We need to get to the grandiose hotel and question Emily.
But what about Daniel?
He was genuinely ill.
Ugh, can this day get any worse?
The lobby boy said she should be in the parlour somewhere.
Yes, having a drink at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 3? Don't these rich folk have any decency to wait until 5 like everyone else?
They're rich. I'm sure they think they can get away with it.
Oh, everyone's staring at us, Tom. Can we go back to the flat and forget this whole thing?
No.
Let's just get this over with then. Do you see her anywhere?
That must be her in the corner there. The young woman with all the jewellery.
Oh, good God! Is she wearing a gauntlet?
Oh, I think there's rings on her fingers and several jewel-encrusted bracelets. Daniel was right, she does flaunt her wealth.
I know I'm extremely beautiful and highly fashionable, but you can stop staring at me. Attention from your lot in life is bad for my health.
Oh? And what is our lot in life exactly?
The poor.
We've come on behalf of your uncle, Maxwell Baxter. Someone has stolen his priceless marble collection.
And you think I took them? Is that it? Please. Just one look at me should tell you I don't need to steal anything. If I had wanted his marbles, I would have bought them. You should collect more facts before throwing accusations.
We're not accusing you of anything. We were told you had recently visited your uncle and we had hoped...
You thought I dropped by his shop to steal his marbles. Just admit it. Can't a girl visit her uncle if she wishes? I was in town on some business and thought I'd pop in to say hello.
And what business was this? Max didn't say.
That's because he didn't know. It's private business.
Private, is it? Private as in you were planning on stealing your uncle's collection and didn't want him to know?
I already said I didn't take them.
Jim has a point. Why did you come to the city? If it wasn't to steal your uncle's marbles, why be so secretive?
I can't say.
Can't? Or you don't want to?
I don't want to. Don't you understand the definition of private? It means none of your business.
I know what private means. However, we are conducting an investigation and your unwillingness to divulge why you're in town is highly suspicious.
We should arrest her right now and be done with it.
You can't arrest me. You don't have enough proof.
No, we don't. Not yet. But we could take you in for questioning, unless...
I'm getting a divorce!
I thought something was fishy about the way she was acting today.
I'm sorry to hear that. Do you mind if I ask why?
I guess it wouldn't hurt now that it's out. Oh, it's horrible. He's...
Been seeing someone else?
No, worse. He's...
From our lot in life?
Yes, he has to work for a living. Says he's been saving it up. Can you imagine? My reputation will be ruined if I stay married to that fraud.
If you don't work for a living, then how did you accumulate your wealth?
I inherited it, as is proper. One of my aunts succumbed to fatal food poisoning while abroad. I told her not to trust foreign food. She was never good at listening to reason. In her will, she left me everything.
And I bet you're the one who bought her plane ticket.
Jim, that's enough. We are sorry for your loss and your unhappy marriage. Before we go, though, I just have one more question.
What is it now?
While visiting your uncle, did you notice anyone who would be willing to steal a priceless marble collection?
Almost everyone. While I do love my uncle, he does attract such the lowliest of clients. It's those types who would steal to be rich, or work for a living.
Yes, but did you notice anyone particularly sinister? A man in a trench coat and a black hat, for example?
I'm afraid not. I didn't notice much of my surroundings. You see, I was getting quite a lot of attention. It's true. Specifically from that one-eyed man Uncle recently hired.
Mr. Brentwood?
Yes. I think he rather fancied me. He kept asking most persistently if I was free later, but I turned him down.
Because you're married.
Well, yes, at the moment. But more importantly, I can't go around dating a man from the working class. That's how I got in my current mess to begin with.
Of course. If that is all you can tell us,
It is.
then we will be leaving. Let's go, Jim.
Come to me, my copper beauties.
Jim, we have work to do.
Work can wait. This is more important.
But
Tom, that parlor had my palms itching for my pennies. Please. 1,
okay, suspects.
3,
We have Daniel, Emily,
5,
and the coat and hat man.
7,
Daniel is obviously not it, and while Emily is rude and arrogant, she is definitely not a marble thief.
13.
But that leaves the man in the trench coat and black hat. If we could just track this man down, we would have the answer. I know it. But only Brentwood saw him. Not even Max, which if I'm to be honest with myself seems far-fetched. As the proprietor of his shop, he would surely notice every customer who walked through his door. Where could this mysterious figure be?
16.
Unless... Jim, go get Emily, Max, and Brentwood. I'll get Daniel.
Wait, well, just a moment. 97, 98, 99. Why am I gathering everyone?
I think I just figured out who stole Max's marbles.
Oh, no, don't tell me. Parlor room?
Of course.
Ugh. We need to get you help, Tom. This obsession of yours is not healthy. Here, help me with my pennies.
It's part of our contract with the agency.
Admit it. You enjoy it.
Well, there's no use in denying it. Now hurry, before the culprit has a chance to escape.
I hate parlor room scenes. The detectives always strut about thinking they're so clever, and they always have to rub it in our faces.
I'll do my best not to strut.
You're strutting now.
I'm pacing, there's a difference.
It's an illness, really.
Right! I've gathered you all here because each and every one of you, excluding Max of course, is a suspect in today's case. Now...
Oh, I think I just figured it out.
Did you?
It was Daniel.
What?
No, Jim. We've been over this before. He's genuinely ill.
Too bloody right.
Then it was Emily. It must have been.
Really?
No, it wasn't her either.
You don't mean to say it was Max?
What? No, it was Brentwood.
How dare you?
Yes, it was Brentwood.
Now wait just a moment. How can it be Edgar? He's the one who brought you on the case in the first place.
Indeed.
Yes, I had the same thought, but I realised it would have been mighty suspicious if he hadn't come to us. What would you think if you sent him off to get detectives and he simply vanished? What really got me thinking of Mr. Brentwood, however, was the mysterious stranger, the one with the trench coat and black hat, the one who didn't purchase anything.
Oh, that's not unheard of. We always have people coming in here who don't buy. In fact, a woman came in today who simply stared at a row of gardening books, and when I asked if I could help her find anything, she explained that she loved books, but can't touch them. She's allergic to the pulp trees.
Quite. However, Mr. Brentwood is the one who told us about this man to begin with, and when asked everyone else did not seem to remember him. It was as if he was simply made up. Then I started considering the information Mr. Brentwood didn't tell us. For example, he neglected to mention that Daniel had left the shop before him, on account of Daniel getting sick. This crucial fact seemed to have escaped Mr. Brentwood's memory. Emily told us she believed Mr. Brentwood fancied her, yet no mention of this from Mr. Brentwood. Of course, this could have been because Mr. Brentwood was embarrassed to admit his crush, for as we all know, Emily is from high society, while Mr. Brentwood is a one-eyed book clerk from the wrong side of town. No offence. However, I believe it is more likely that he did not want us to know he was trying to get close to Max's family. In addition, he appeared to be just a little too agitated when he visited our flat this afternoon and was keen to leave as quickly as he had come.
As I said, Mr. Bunker, I had other business.
What business was this?
Well, eating my lunch, for one, as you took most of my free hour.
Yes, of course. But I remember you saying your business was most urgent. More urgent than sating your hunger, I expect. I proposed that you were planning on meeting someone willing to buy a precious collection of marbles. I also proposed that an hour was not long enough to come here and then fence your stolen merchandise. When you realized you had run out of time, you resorted to desperate measures. Mr. Brentwood, I ask that you please remove your eye patch.
Must I? Now? My empty socket is rather unsightly, and there's a woman present.
Really, Mr. Brentwood? Because from where I'm standing, it looks as if your eye patch is bulging slightly. Almost as if it were covering a sphere of some sort. So I ask once more, please remove your eye patch. Jim, stop him!
Oh, he's too fast! After him! Tom, come, let's go!
Everyone, stay here! Someone call the police! Bloody hell! He's too fast!
Could it be? It is! It is!
Oof. Stop right there, Mr. Brentwood.
Ugh! I would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't held me up with your infernal questioning.
A whole part of the job. Clever of you, hiding the marbles in your glass eye. And good job, Jim, tripping up the thief like that.
100 pennies, Tom. I finally have 100 pennies.
Congratulations.
There's just one thing I don't understand.
And what's that?
How did you know Edgar was hiding my marbles in his eye?
Simple. Briefcase.
Briefcase.
In my experience, thieves usually hide their stolen goods in a briefcase of some sort. Mr. Brentwood had none.
Marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. Well, I thank you for recovering my collection. Now I'm off to return to my shop and ponder over tighter security.
And I must count my updated collection.
And I shall return to Hercule Poirot. Good day, Max. What? Everyone? It was everyone? Ugh, confound you, Miss Christie.
96,
You have foiled me
97,
once again.
98, 99, 100!
You've just been listening to Jim Steward and the Case of the Lost Marbles, written, produced, and edited by Timothy Bastek, featuring the voice talents of Frank Russian as Tom Bunker, Taylor Packer as Jim Steward, Mitch Munter as Mr. Brentwood and Maxwell Baxter, Timothy Bastek as Daniel, and Megan Brayfield as Emily. Sound design by Timothy Bastek. All music was provided by Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech.com. Remember, if you're musically incompetent, use Incompetech. Jim Steward and the Case of the Lost Marbles was made in association with Sword Key Productions. And thank you for listening.